Are you a real estate investor looking to sharpen your skills or a newbie looking to become one? You're in the right place. Welcome to Where Should I Invest? Real Estate Investing in Canada with your host, Sarah Larby.
So are you financing? I know you dabbled in some lending and some financing even before real estate. So are you doing anything creative with how you're financing them, how you're bringing in potentially people or doing it yourself? I don't know. What does that look like for your portfolio?
I feel like I'm talking a lot, but
Jordon, do you want to take that one?
I'll take it.
Yeah, you start off and I'll build on it.
We don't close off to any type of financing, lending, or creative strategy. We're very open-minded. We deploy different strategies on different properties, everything from vendor takebacks to private loans to A lenders, B lenders, and we are starting to open the doors to joint venture slowly but surely. But for the most part, it's been just Jordon and myself doing it and kind of pushing our way through.
Okay, awesome. And Jordon, anything you want to add?
Yeah, no, exactly that. Like, I know like joint ventures and things like that is like, a main thing that a lot of real estate investors do to really grow and expand their portfolio. But I think to me and Evan, like, peace of mind is everything to us. And like, playing with our own capital, like if, it just gives us that comfort that, we could take our time and, figure some things out without the stress of, having to meet expectations. And now as we are growing and getting more comfortable with their process, especially getting into more of like multifamilies and like apartment buildings and things like that, we have definitely been more open to investors and things like that would, have kind of the same idea that we do, and we just align ourselves with them as well. But yeah, I would say for sure that starting off, we really just focused on pretty much our own capital. And now we're at that point where we're like, okay, we're in a place where we're pretty comfortable. Let's turn the ante up a bit and branch out some more.
I think it's really cool. I mean, I've recently formed some partnerships from a development standpoint with Harry James. We're doing like 3 really cool developments, but I also like to, hear like from you guys, because you're in a partnership, right? Even though you're not necessarily bringing a bunch of JVs, it is a partnership. And, what are the things, like, that you could share? I mean, I'm sure someone's listening to this saying, I could partner with a friend or somebody that I know or a colleague, and we can scale it a lot faster than maybe one person could do it on their own. But everybody's got like their strengths or their parts of what they do. Have you guys had that conversation, early on of like, one person's doing the acquisition, one person's doing the, I don't know, getting the money or like walk us through what that looked like for you and what it is today?
All right. So I love the acquisition side of things. I love the acquisition. I love the thrill of the chase and the hunt for it. And I love breaking down the numbers. So I would say Jordon and I are both on the financing side. I'm more on the acquisition side, and then Jordon's more on the construction side. And then we're both everything in between, I would say. But
yeah.
What challenges have you guys had along the way being a partnership and, not being a sole owner, I suppose?
What color to paint the living room, I guess. Just kidding. I don't know. There's always some differences, but I would say one of the benefits actually is that, Jordon and I didn't really start off as friends. We were just peers, and our relationship grew as business partners, not as like friends hanging out and just hanging out, right? So I think we've always been really business with each other, and although we're amazing friends now, we grew our relationship around business, and that's really helped keep us laser focused and understanding of what each other wants. There's definitely going to be differences in a lot of things. I've certainly yelled at Jordon. Jordon certainly yelled at me, over properties and people and opportunities and whatnot. But our vision is identical. I can tell you that there is like tunnel vision in the exact same direction. And I really think everything else kind of falls to the wayside when you have that like unwavering vision and it's the same as someone else. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point there. And, you know, obviously vision is important, goals are important. I'm just curious. I mean, like if you've grown so much in the last few years, like have you come up with here are 2025 goals, or like 5 years out, or, you know, like maybe Jordon will, I know you're kind of nodding. You know, what does that look like? Let's put it out on the table, hold accountability, right? When you make it public.
It's definitely massive. We really, I think part of the reasons why the partnership has worked so well in previous years and currently is, like Evan said, our vision's very, very aligned, and we do see big picture, and we want to achieve things. We want to, there's been times where we'll say, for an example, oh, like it's so stressful, we're not buying properties for like 3 months, and then 2 days later, we're looking at buying a property. So as much as we hate the stress, I think we kind of like it as well. And what drives us is obviously just us wanting more, wanting to create something, wanting to really essentially build an empire, that we could rely on and when we need to, and also give other people opportunities to work and build with us as well. That's a big thing. And I have to say, that's definitely something that we definitely take pride in, like the different businesses that we have built off of this business. Like we have a construction company where, we keep our guys employed, year round. We don't ever have downtime. You know what I mean? And so that's given our employees an opportunity to really build and master the trades and master the craft and work with us. But in terms of numbers, like we want to be pretty big. We're coming.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So you talk about the construction company, and that's kind of like your part of the business. Are you doing construction just for your projects, or is that also a part of the business that you do for other investors or other people that need renos on their properties?
We do both. Obviously, the main purpose of having our construction company in-house is for our own properties. If things come up, especially in this market and how things have been going with the labor shortage, right? Someone wants to buy a house, they want to do a flip in and out in 30 to 45 days, but there's no contractors available for 3 or 4 months. So I think in terms of that, like it's definitely helped us build. But that being said, like we don't turn away business either, if it makes sense. So we do offer our construction company out to other investors and clients that are either looking to do kind of our in and out quick flip like we do, or they're looking to do some high-end finishes at their primary residence. But it's definitely a combination of the two.
That's awesome. I mean, it sounds like you have both grown the business and the businesses in the business quite a bit, quite rapidly, and with employees and all that good stuff. What are some challenges that you've experienced along the way growing so fast?
Oh man, what challenges haven't we faced growing fast? I think like everything comes down to a system, and the challenge in the beginning is, do you have the systems that you need to rely on as your scale grows? Because the system you have for 2 million in properties versus 5 versus 10 versus 15 versus 100 million is going to be similar but different in size and scale, and you're going to need a lot more people in place, and you're going to need things to move faster or differently. And I think that's been a big challenge, is making sure that we have the right amount of people in place and having systems for things to kind of like checks and balances. If this happens, this proceeds, and almost like automation on the human side and on the software side, right? So everything from acquisitions to resale, like, small things. When we first started doing flips, I mean, we really only started doing flips in 2021. The BRRRR model is great, but it doesn't necessarily provide for like ongoing working capital, right? So as you're scaling, you're BRRRing, and if you're getting a perfect BRRRR or a little better or a little worse, you're kind of going even with your working capital. So scaling, you need to have more capital, growing capital funds. So we started flipping, and I tell you, like, the small things matter a lot. Like the garden in the front of the house makes a big difference on a flip, and it's the the nicer lamps or lights that you put in the house, in the living room, the ones that look modern and stylish in the bathroom. And these little things that you really don't think about too much, because you want to put good quality in, and we always focus on like high quality. But when you're selling, it's not so much about durability. It's actually more about like eye catching and style. And these are the things, like these small things that you never think you're going to have to like really think about, but they come into play.
Thanks so much for listening to Where Should I Invest with your host, Sarah Larby. Make sure to listen in next time. We'll catch you on the next episode of Where Should I Invest?